Yo, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up? Hello, hello, and welcome to the space between ideas. I'm angry, Blank Gates, and this is the space between ideas. What are you so angry about? Well, I'm not that angry. I don't know. So, I got it all figured out, basically, because I think that, something exciting is when you kind of have things figured out for the year. I mean, like some basic direction, some basic goals, like some basic, like what's going on and how do you plan on doing this kind of stuff. So, anyways, let's get started. And I think the best way to explain what we're going to talk about today is if you go to my LinkedIn. So, how do I explain this? So who's going to like my video? So I think that if you are a startup founder, and you're thinking about like, how are you going to actually like develop your MVP? And then how are you going to create some kind of marketing campaign behind your MVP? Like, what is the actual work process? And you have to turn that into a loop. So, I mean, like, how do you connect all those dots together to kind of have like a process that you go through every day or every couple of days? And then that process is like a flywheel, so that the energy gets bigger and bigger and as you go along. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to show you how I came up with this idea and then what it actually looks like in practice. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you a case study, which is this concept of like, so maybe you're familiar with the website called Notion. Notion, it's a kind of tool, and it's a cool tool that helps you. I don't know, like, do you use Notion? I think if you don't use Notion, if you don't know anything about Notion, then it would be kind of a challenge to explain anything deeper than like, I don't know if you'll understand what I'm saying, because you have to have a pretty good understanding of what Notion is for you to be able to understand their like, philosophy behind their marketing campaign. All right, so let's go through the philosophy of their marketing campaign. So when Notion first started, just like any other website, they wanted to they created a blog, and then they created content, and they created some kind of SEO strategy. All right, so they have their website, they have their blog, and they have, like, I don't know, whatever they did. Maybe they did paid ads, or I don't know what they did. But they did something. And what it does is it drove traffic to some sign up page where people were signing up for their app. Now, maybe you signed up to their sign up page and like you weren't ready to sign up. So maybe you just signed up to their email nurturing. So you left them like your website, your email address, and then they started sending you emails. I don't know, one or the other. So either you sign up for Notion directly or you sign up for their email nurturing. Either case, eventually you started trying their free product trial. After trying their free product trial for a little while, then maybe you hit their trial limits, maybe you hit their team block limits. In either case, at some point you're like, oh, okay, so we're using this tool quite a bit. And in order for us to get the total value from this tool, then we need to start paying. And so then that's what got you into the paid version. Now, a lot of people really liked the concept of Notion and what they could do with Notion. So they started, that's what actually developed the loop. So the value add is that like people are getting value from your tool. Now, Notion is kind of like Legos. It's like anything, any kind of tool where you're trying to build. And then what happened was people were able to kind of build workflows. So people who already had a workflow, they were able to represent it using the Notion. And so then we have two directions. So they had like a community platform, then they have the content SEO. Let's go through the content SEO because I think that's probably the better one. What do you mean content SEO? Well, what happened was these UGC creators. So I think this is one of the main things is that you need to really push your brand and your image in 2026 and moving forward. You can see on Instagram and you can see on all kinds of different like areas that like everybody's on social media, everybody's social media addicted. The next generation is more addicted than the last ever, and then also trust, like, so people, they used to watch commercials, and commercials was kind of like a type of entertainment. Now people, they don't watch commercials, they look at like UGC content, they go onto TikTok, Instagram, and they're just like, okay, or YouTube, and they're just like, what is the reality behind this product? I want to see 10 people try it out, I want to see them actually use it, I want to hear real people giving real testimonials. So in the world now, we have this, we came from a world which was corporate, where people trusted the government and people trusted big companies. And now people are like, well, why would I trust the government? These people are insane. And why would I trust big companies? Because, there's all kinds of lawsuits and all kind of crazy things. And like, I would rather trust people that I've learned how to trust by watching their content and learning to gauge their personality and just like growing up with them. This is my family. So, I mean, to some extent, I would say people are starting to view their connection with social media as like a close relationship. And so what happened was UGC creators, they started producing how-to videos. So if you're a UGC creator from like 5 years ago, and you were creating Notion templates, and then you were explaining how to use these Notion templates, what happened was that YouTube and TikTok, they would start to direct traffic toward the UGC creator profiles. And so this actually was like a win-win situation, because UGC creators were getting more, they were getting more views, and also people at Notion were really happy with these UGC creators who are also driving traffic, look, to the sign up page. And also the templates. So then what happened was, inside of Notion, they have these templates. The templates started ranking on Google. So people are like, well, how do I create like some kind of flow for how like I develop? How do I what is like the flow for my, creating some videos? Like what happens and then what happens, and how do I keep track of this, and how do I keep track of a team? So some people, they go to like the route of like ClickUp or money.com, some kind of what do they call these things? Some kind of industrial tool that shows you the steps you're going to take. But then with Notion, you can just build your own steps. So, but then it's better if you have some kind of template. So I would say that Notion, it gives you more options than ClickUp or Monday.com. ClickUp and Monday.com, they give you very specific decisions, and then you have to kind of follow the decisions that they give for you. Anyways, you can see all this is driving to more signups, more free product trials, more people are hitting the rate limits, more people are turning to the page, to the community platform. So you can see it goes all the way back to what community platform. So it's going back into Reddit. People are asking questions on Reddit, Discord, and then other people are answering those questions, saying, "Hey, I know how to do that." So it became like topics of conversation because people felt like there was some value there. That was also driving signups. So you can see this the horizontal view, they call this, Ryan Dice calls this a business growth engine, but it's basically, it's a horizontal sales funnel where you're creating awareness. People, they get to know your content, maybe they click like, and then trust is when they actually get their contact information. And then once they've given you their contact information and they start to try your product, then eventually they may decide to buy. And then some of those people are going to turn into creators, and then they're going to go and become ambassadors for your product, and they're going to go and it's going to inspire the next generation of how to video creators. So that's the model. And I was like, I'm really interested in this model. And I have like the difficulty is like, well, how do I do that? Like, how does that work? So check this out. So I have this one LinkedIn group. It's called Space Between Ideas on LinkedIn. And my Space Between Ideas on LinkedIn group is I think what I'm gonna do here is like I made some posts a long time ago, but like I haven't posted for a while. And then today I'm just like, okay, I know what to do here. So check this out. I'll just read it because maybe it's just easy. All right. So it says a narrowly focused waitlist style mini MVP special purpose vehicle. So that's what I'm creating right now. A narrowly focused waitlist style mini MVP special purpose vehicle. Okay, that's what I'm building. Sounds crazy, right? I'll explain what I mean. So, okay, the question is, what is R&D? To understand R&D, think about output. You can use TRIZ to understand the evolution of systems, the working element, the transmission, the engine, and the brain. Or you can sum it up by saying, what is it that enables the outcome I desire? If you don't have a product developed, then the output you seek is an MVP. If you have a product developed, then the output is the 2.0 version. Or you might be applying the idea of R&D to a marketing or sales processes. To marketing or sales processes. In this group, I'm going to write a series of messages where I'll describe the endeavor and then do some work, and then we'll follow up the video to share my R&D outcome. Okay, so this is the new workflow. Now, the couple benefits here. One benefit is like I have a whole post. I can paste that in the description of my YouTube video, which is kind of like really useful. And then secondly is because so first I'm writing the post to my group saying, "Hey, look, this is going to be my like my next video." And then I'll go make the video and then as a comment to the post. Okay, so what am I working on? Think about the word prerequisites. So okay, so this year 2026, I have this goal of producing 1,000 transactions. So if you want 1,000 transactions, what is the prerequisite? Now, of course, you could go into
26. And I'm so excited for this because one, it's going to help me to actively practice delusion. Two, the worst that they could say is no. Three, you never know who you can meet. The random person that you ask a question could change your life. Four, it's going to make me practice my free will a lot more. It's going to make me do more side quests. Five, you never know the opportunities that you can make, whether in your work or a huge brand opportunity, brand trip, like, and the world is yours. It's going to make me more bolder, less shy. The therapy is going to make me less sensitive to rejection. I think it's just such an all around great practice. And this is one of the best internet advice that I've seen in a very long time. And I'm so excited to try it. My goal is to get rejected 1,000 times in 20.
all right, so I think that's pretty awesome. Like this chick is like, yo, check this out, because like if your goal is to get rejected 1,000 times, then like, yo, you know, that's a really good way of framing it because it means it prioritizes action. Like check this girl out.
Okay, I'm trying to get rejected 1,000 times, so I applied to be a title holder, and I was actually accepted. So now I'm a national pageant title holder. I'm the American Natural Miss. I applied for my Dutch passport, thinking I'd get rejected, but they accepted me. So now I'm literally a Dutch citizen. I'm a dual citizen. I have emailed a bunch of brands, and I thought that they would reject me or not respond to me, but I've gone back, and so now it's like this from L'Oreal, or packages like this from Garnier, and I literally get like paid brand deals. I auditioned for a play thinking they'd reject me, but they accepted me. So I went on to perform in 11 shows. I submitted myself for a role with my talent agency, and I thought I would get rejected, but I got accepted. So I got to be an extra in a really, really cool commercial. Chase rejection, y'all. In 2026, like this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is what we're doing. You see, it's crazy. So what I mean, it's so inspiring because like you got a really natural looking girl. As you know, she won the won what is it?
You never know what's gonna happen.
She calls what does she call
Okay,
that
I'm
thing?
trying to get rejected 1,000 times, so I applied to be a title holder, and I was actually accepted. So now I'm a national
National pageant
pageant title holder. I'm the American Natural.
American natural. She's very natural looking. But it's true. So anyway, so she applies for this thing thinking she's going to get rejected. So she's actually like she's forcing herself to get rejected. And so she's saying I'm going to keep applying for stuff until I get rejected 1,000 times, which means she spends an awful lot of time applying for stuff just so she can get rejected. But the problem that she's facing is like so many times in the process of getting rejected, she keeps getting accepted. So it's like what? I mean, I think it's an awesome mindset. Like, I mean, why not? Like, because a lot of people are afraid of rejection. Like, remember that video from what's his name, Dan something Pala? He's like, you're 2,000 cold calls away from being a millionaire. What do you mean 2,000 cold calls away? Start calling. All right, check this dude out.
So there's the 1,000 rejections girl. I'm doing what she's doing, but I've got a spreadsheet. So basically, this is my
Yeah,
1,000.
let's go a little closer. What's he doing? Applied for the LA Times studio host. Applied for film series award cords. Email Claudia. Message people on Facebook. Mark he keeps look at this free cheap. Okay, ghosted, 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 ghosted. He keeps asking for free stuff.
Rejection spreadsheet, and you can see what all the tasks are right here and the status of them, whether I've
Okay, so I mean he's got 14 things on his task. He's a far cry away from 1,000 rejections.
started them, whether they're completed or they've gotten blocked for some kind of reason. I have them organized by type. So I have whether or not I applied for a job, reached out for some kind of networking opportunity, or whether or not I just asked somebody for something free or for cheap. Then I can see what stage it's at, whether I've attempted it, whether I've been ghosted, and then I
All right, you get the point. So the point, I'm not trying to like talk about this. It's actually so, but the point is like, okay, my goal in 2026 is to get 1,000 transactions. All right. So, like, I fully accept that I'm going to get rejected more than 1,000 times before I'm accepted 1,000 times. So, I just wanted to frame that as like, okay, you're going to be rejected. So just accept that you're going to be rejected. So now I'm rejected. Okay, but then all of that rejection is eventually going to it's going to achieve the I'm going to be accepted. I'm going to get those transactions. But also you have to think in terms of prerequisites. So it's not just like, oh, I got rejected 1,000 times and now I'm getting transactions. I mean, you actually have to have the system. So if you're going to have 1,000 transactions, what is a prerequisite? You have to have a method of payment. And then if you have a method of payment, well, it has to be attached to something, right? It's going to be attached to a checkout page or a cart. And then your checkout page or cart, it has to be attached to your sales page or some kind of pop-up. And then that sales page or pop-up, it's going to be attached to your free trial. So it's attached to your website and the free trial of your tool. And then like a free trial of your tool means that your prototype is complete. And then if your prototype is complete, like how do people find that prototype? Like there has to be some kind of consideration. So people they're like they have a pain point and then they're looking for a potential solution. So that's the consideration. And then what you're saying is we have a potential solution for you. And then, but then how did they hear about it, right? If you're going to have consideration, then what's the prerequisite? That means they had to have found you. If they found you, it means that you had to reach out. And if you reached out, it means that you had a message and a delivery method. And if you had a message and a delivery method, then it means that you specified some targets. You had a specific message in that target and you had a specific method for delivering that message. And if you want targets, it means that you have to have defined some kind of persona. So defining the persona is always a challenge, and especially if you want your product even so if your what? And especially so if your product is applicable to a wide especially if I should remove that. So especially if your product is applicable to a wide audience. That's why I decided to create a narrowly focused, waitlist style, mini MVP, special purpose vehicle. I mean, right now, don't worry about what that means. It sounds crazy, so just let it go. You'll see in time. Let's start with step number one. Okay, so what's the point? Instagram has two main types of videos. One is entertainment featuring short videos, short stories. All right, so any kind of entertainment. Maybe it's a joke, maybe it's a story, maybe it's like a video where they cut from here to here to here. Anything, anywhere where some girl is showing off her bikini, it's like that's a story, right? She's sharing with you her story about some kind of fashion. It's all stories, it's all entertainment. It's meant to boost your dopamine level. Then you have other videos which are educational. So somebody's saying, "Hey, like, are you looking for a solution to your problem? Here's the solution." All right, so let's focus on these educational videos. What's the problem with these pain points? Okay, number one, a person doesn't know that there's an Instagram post with the solution to their pain point and post a message on Reddit. All right, so this is the key to my stage one of my operations for 2026. The idea is that like so I noticed that recently Instagram they're suggesting more and more posts about like how to make content, how to set up a business, how to like create a page, how to like use AI tools, like all the subjects that I'm interested in. They keep sending me more and more of this content, and sometimes it's interesting, and sometimes it's not so interesting. But in either case, there are other people on Reddit who are like asking questions, and sometimes like a video that I saw on Instagram is the exact solution for the person asking the question on Reddit, right? So my job here is like, okay, find the question on Reddit. Actually, more specifically, when I see some interesting post on Instagram, I need to take that post and then search on Reddit for somebody who asked the question and then post the Instagram post, right? Okay, problem number two. Even if they see the solution on Instagram, the format isn't easy to use. Okay, so then, okay, I'm saying, well, probably you're not going to want to post that Instagram post directly because it's not necessarily the best format for doing the thing. What do you mean it's not the good format? Well, because usually it's so difficult to start and stop the video in Instagram. So it means you have to let the whole thing play again and then you stop it again and then stop and then start and stop and start and then sometimes it'll like refresh the page, sometimes you'll miss the spot. It's a hassle. So the format, it's not the best for actually using it for your specific purpose. Now even if the format is okay to use, like the creator really set out a very specific process, step one, step two, step three, it doesn't directly plug into AI and some of the steps are confusing or not explained. Right, so you're watching the video and then it explains something and it's like, but it didn't exactly explain it clearly. Okay, so okay, now I gotta ask the question for AI. But AI doesn't have the context of the video. So then you post the link in directly into AI and it's like, oh, I can't read the Instagram post. What? You can't read the Instagram post? So then what do you do? All right, so that's where my tool, okay, it can be a challenge to create a prompt for AI that you can trust. Okay, so my waitlist website features a mini version of my application. Okay, what's going on? So I created this thing called Qubit Connect, and basically you have a task, and then it has like you write down the steps to accomplish that task. Now, if you get stuck on one of the steps, or if you don't even know the steps, you just write in the task, then you can click Qubit, and then you can click the task. And the AI will tell you the 4 steps to accomplish that task. If you get stuck on step number 2, then you click Qubit, and then you click step number 2, and then it moves the task, the step from step number 2 into the next line, then it creates the 4 steps for that specific step. So you get the sub steps. And then you can go through the sub steps, and then that completes step number 2, and then you go to step number 3. You see, so Qubit Connect, it has 2 functions. It gives you, it helps you to write down your tasks, and then it can help you using AI to turn into sub steps. And then also you can click dial left, and then you can add one of those steps into your priority left, and then you can add another task into priority right, and then you can click one or the other for what you're working on right now. So it helps you to look at the 2 most important things on your schedule, and then click one is the one you're gonna focus on. All right. So, but it's not necessarily like super like good for like it's not a so I'm trying to create like a very specific use case. So when I create my wait list, see, because I haven't actually created this app yet. And um but I need to create a wait list, and then but the wait list, it has to have some functionality to it so that people will enjoy. They'll see exactly like what is one um, activity that they can use this thing to. I need to create some buzz. I need to create some attention. I need to get people working on my like checking out my thing. All right, let me show you what I mean exactly. All right, so let me show you my current version. All right, check it out. So this is my current VP. So I'm gonna actually have this. This is gonna become my waitlist page. All right. So what happens here is I'm gonna click this. So it says to select the video. I'm gonna click my desktop because that's where my video is. All right. I'm gonna upload. Now I'm also gonna select the trans. I already put the transcript in my downloads. It's right here. So check this out. Okay. So right now, even my Cubic Connect, you can't directly put in an Instagram page right now. But let me just show you what happens. So I click analyze, start analysis. All right, check it out. So it cuts up her video. Okay, practice delusion, face rejection, meet new people, practice free will, do side quests, create opportunities, become bolder. All right, so those are the tasks that she has outlined in her video, which is great, right? So you can take any video from Instagram, and then you pop it into my little machine, and then it's going to give you the tasks, the main task from the video. Now I can see it's having a little bit of a problem processing after 13 seconds. I had this problem last time too. I don't know if it's because I have too many things open. Anyways, let's see if this can work. So can I click Qubit before it's done processing? No, I cannot click Qubit before it's done processing. All right. Well, you can see that I'm in the process. Like I haven't perfected the output yet. Oh, we got number 21. It's done. Well, if you're watching the video, obviously you can just bump it ahead. So I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit. Or should I show you something else? All right, I'm just gonna like do this, and you can just move your slider and move it. It's probably gonna take another minute. All right, never mind. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay. The purpose of this video, which is basically that I want to show you what I'm doing in 2026. So in 2025, this is what happened. So from between the year of our Lord 2017 and 2025, like 7 years of my life, I spent working on like a variety of different projects in order to develop this not only this prototype but also this marketing strategy. So those are the two things I really focused on in the last 7 years is like trying to understand the process of managing people and tasks, which was the concept of how do I do business. And then after that, I started focusing on like what is marketing and how do I do marketing campaigns and how do I really connect with the digital world. And I just so you have to like aim at something and make decisions, and then you have to learn how to do things and then do them. That's it. And that's Cubic Connect right there. So Cubic Connect, like my whole thing about Cubic Connect is like you have to make a list of tasks, and then you have to like decide like do you need to learn something before you do it, or can you just start doing it? That's business. Now in 2026, so now what's happening in 2026 is I have this I have this cycle, right? So the first thing I do is I got some general LinkedIn posts, and then I have my special space between ideas group posts. That's the start of the cycle. So I even showed you that. I showed you how I have some like LinkedIn posts, and then I showed you. I physically showed you that post, right? So it's here. Finish reading it. Okay, so my waitlist website features a mini version of my application where it's being used to solve for a specific use case. After using my tool, they are more likely to give me their email and fill out a survey. Process building. The tool needs to be built. Find some questions on Reddit, find some Instagram posts, run the post through the tool, write a post on Reddit with the Instagram post, the output from the tool, and the link for the tool. Result, see the next post. Okay, so then I'm gonna create another post. Anyway, so the video I'm making right now, I'm gonna add it as like as the as a comment to this post. So that's the idea is the first thing that I'm doing like each day or couple of days is I'm writing general posts on just my regular LinkedIn page, and then I'm posting into my space between ideas group. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I need to create a thumbnail. So I did that actually. So I created the thumbnail for this video. So it's not to create the thumbnail using AI. So then I create the thumbnail. And then once the thumbnail is created, then I create the video, which is where we are right now. Now, after I finish creating the video, then I'm going to post that link to my LinkedIn group. And then I need to spend some time in general, like searching for some things in LinkedIn, finding other people's posts. So maybe, okay, so then that's an interesting idea. So let's go here for a second. Without creating another image, what were the main ideas I shared in the comment as inspiration for this image? Just make the list based on terms or phrases that I could search for in LinkedIn so that I could see some posts from other people about topics that I'm talking about today, and then comment on those posts. You see, so that's the point is this is actually okay. So the workflow here is kind of like a little bit of a cycle. We're going to take a small break in developing two different websites. So basically I'm not going to, yeah. And then I just talk about, look, so you can see there's like LinkedIn, and then create the thumbnail, and then work on my Cubic Connect, and then engage on Reddit. So there's like this 2026 business plan, and then develop my full app. So I explained the whole thing about like what today's video is going to be about. It makes me the image. All right. So then, okay, look. So here are the here's the what I can search for on LinkedIn and other posts. So then we're going to process an Instagram video, meaning that we're going to use the tool that I just shared with you. Let's see if it actually completed. Okay, it's still processing, strangely enough. It's not done yet. Weird. It's taking a really long time, but that's okay. Just let it be. All right. And then we're gonna post that result to Reddit. So after we process a video, I'm not super happy with the output, the current output of my tool, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that like I actually do something. I get something done. I post something. So because we got to get all the way around this loop. All right, then I'm going to add the result to the waitlist page. I don't actually have the waitlist page yet. And then also, I don't have the section on the page. So the waitlist page is not working. I'm still developing the tool. So I need to spend some time to make it so that it looks like a waitlist page eventually, and also so that I can actually post whatever the Reddit comment is, so it shows up on my waitlist page. Yeah, so I got to develop the tool, refine the recipe output. That's what I just mentioned, the previous tools. And then I got to add the email capture. Okay, and then finally, I got to have to start developing my actual app, which is the Qubit Connect app. And then I have other tasks. So every day I have a bunch of books I'm reading, and then I have people that I'm like working with. And so I'm going to be sending them some questions about that. And then I'm also studying French. So I got to like write the vocab on some paper, and then I got to go walk the dog, buy some food, cook food, clean clothes, renovations. In fact, I got to take my dog for a walk right now, and then boom, and then we're done. So then we're finished the cycle, and then the cycle starts again. That's 2026 right there. That's my year. This year. That is, yeah, pretty exciting stuff, I would say. Let's just check on this other thing one more time, Qubit Connect. All right, check it out. So it is definitely finished. All right, look, let's click. Ah, look at that. You see, it changes color. Now, what happens when I click that? Look at that. It gives you the 4 steps. Identify desired outcome or belief that is currently unrealistic or untrue. Actively engage in behaviors, thoughts, or affirmations that reinforce the desired outcome, even if we're already real. Suppress or rationalize away any evidence or doubts that contradict the desired outcome. Maintain this consistent reinforcement and suppression over time, fostering a strong internal belief in the practice delusion. It tells you how to practice delusion. Okay, what about facing rejection? Okay, oh, it did. Okay, like you can do it for all of them. Okay. Anyways, you get the point. Face rejection. Acknowledge and process the initial feeling of disappointment or hurt. Analyze the reasons behind the rejection, objectively separating personal worth from the outcome. Identify lessons learned and areas for potential improvement based on the experience. Reframe the situation as a learning opportunity or move forward with renewed confidence. Meet new people. Identify potential social opportunities. Initiate conversations and introductions. Engage in meaningful dialogue. Follow up and maintain connection. You see this? So it's like because people always give you really generic uh, advice, and it's like, what do you mean meet new people? Like, oh, this is going to be an opportunity. What do you mean need? And then my Qubit Connect, it tells you like, no, you need to do these specific 4 things. And then my actual Qubit Connect app, you could say, well, what do you mean identify, initiate conversations, introductions? And you can click Qubit. So right now we don't have this opportunity to highlight something and then click. Okay, so that just gives you another 4. So I got to add the feature. So what I can do is highlight. If I highlight one of these, okay, I want to put, okay, so what I'm going to tell it to do is I'm going to ask it to put the Qubit button next to each of the 4 items, and then I can click one of the items, and then it'll create another box underneath it with those 4 items. Yeah, okay, so that's the next step. Perfect. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to show you one thing because I did mention this in an earlier video. in an earlier video, right now, my goal number 1 is take interesting posts from Instagram and put them into the Cubic Connect structure and share them. Save Instagram posts to a folder inside of Instagram. Create the post inside of Google Gemini, take the transcript from the video, turn it to Cubic Connect spreadsheet. Yeah, so I changed this to an actual, like I created that Cubic Connect application to do this. Make a post image in Google Notebook with the infograph tool, post it in LinkedIn, and also share. Exactly. And then here's the waitlist page. So then I said, like, okay, how am I going to do that? Like target audience, define audience, user experience, set up questions, copy. So you can see that in both cases, I had goal 1 and goal 2. And the initial goal is kind of like somewhat clear about what I'm going to do. And then like I made it I like completely changed this by developing an application. And then the waitlist, what I realized is that the tool that I'm building, it could be used inside of the waitlist page. And also, how am I going to drive traffic to the waitlist page is with this Reddit system, with this tool system. Anyway, so here you go. So I got the LinkedIn, that's that, and then the mini app is that, and then the waitlist is that, and then I need to develop the larger application, and then I got the reading books and French. So then I took all of that, and I turned it into like a. So there you go. This is 2026. I mean, this is now. Of course, I'm going to make some small little changes, but it looks like this is my path to 1,000. My path to 1,000 to 10,000 rejections and 1,000 transactions. Great. Thanks for joining me here at 2 Ideas, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.